Hey, there I am. I'm like, why am I not showing up? Oh, look at this hair. My goodness, Pete. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. It's been a while since I've come on live in terms of broadcasting across multiple feeds. So if you're joining me from YouTube, hello. You know that I'm going to be able to see your comments as you enter them. If you're joining me in Facebook, same thing. It'll just come up as Facebook user. I just won't know who you are. Great, anonymous, but I'll see your comments afterwards inside the Facebook thread. Today is Friday. Oh my gosh. I wanted to come on and share with you some of the reasons why I haven't been so present in YouTube on the channel creating nursing content in terms of skills and theory and pharmacology. And, you know, obviously communication is a big part of that as well, because I've been working on a summit. So the last 2 months of my life, I have spent putting together, reaching out to experts and leaders in the industry to bring to you an amazing summit, if I do say so myself. And I know it is because I've interviewed them all already. The conversations have been amazing. So let me just change up something here so you can see what I'm talking about. And I want to just give you some highlights today as to what you're going to get. So the purpose of me coming on live today is to talk to you about how to ditch the drama, how to confidently handle difficult conversations. I hope you can hear me. If you can hear me, just give me a hello. Yeah, that seems to be okay. I think it's working. How to confidently handle difficult conversations and create better relationships. So we are in the final hours before this starts, which is why I want to come and bring this live to you today. So it's called Dissolve Workplace Conflict. And let me just show this to you. There we go. Put that on the bottom there instead of my live with Tammy. So first of all, let's just break down ditching the drama. If you have drama in the workplace, let me know in the comments. And it's quite likely, even if you're working at home, because we know that there's this new workplace. So one of our speakers, Penny Tremblay, talks about the new sandbox. That's her branded image of the workplace. And she has a great story to tell about how the sandbox method works and relates to us in the workplace and how we get along. But she's done some research and she's going to share about the new workplace, because we know that 60 to 70% of people are working at home currently with COVID. Hey, Jennifer, thank you for letting me know that the sound is working. But with everybody working at home or as an essential worker, you're in the workplace working in new conditions we didn't expect, with less staff likely, with more people at high stress, with less reserve for difference, less tolerance of change. The workplace has completely flipped on its head. And one of the things that she was sharing in her research was about how the relationships are shifting. And it was so important for her to share that, because we're talking about dissolving workplace conflict. And she's one of the main speakers, there's 26 main speakers who are going to be sharing their tips, their strategies, their step-by-step tools so that you can ditch the drama. Confidently handle those difficult conversations that maybe you've been avoiding, maybe you've just found yourself in the middle of, so that you can create better relationships. And we do this one conversation at a time. And so ditching the drama, we know that emotions are on overdrive. You can let me know in the chat as well if your emotions are on overdrive. So I should share, I'm actually live on 3 places again. For those who are joining me now, YouTube. I haven't been here quite active as much as I'd like to be, but that will start to shift again. I'll start to be able to create more nursing related content and conversation around that. Facebook in my Relationship Revolution page. Thank you for joining us. And in just Facebook, my general page, for those of you who hang out with me there all the time and get to see, you will have noticed that my Facebook has been on full promo mode for the last couple of weeks as we get moving forward with the summit. Now, some of the things that are causing drama in the workplace, again, share with me in the box below if you've noticed any of these. We have emotions that are on overdrive. People are exhausted, literally exhausted from the work itself, from dealing with people who don't believe this is a real thing, who have different opinions on what we should be doing, lockdown, no lockdown, just those constant interactions that are challenging your beliefs and your mindset and your values. I've heard people say that they're like willing to walk away from friends over this. This is hotter than politics. COVID is hotter than politics. So it's creating a climate of real distrust, of discomfort. And I want to be able to give people resources and tools so that they don't have to go down that road. Like, you can actually respectfully disagree, put people in the place that they need to be in your lives, and move forward. Being short-staffed all the time, yes, I think that's the reality that we've lived in pre-COVID, but with COVID, it's only magnified this problem that we've had. And now people are exhausted and they just need to take care of themselves, but there's nobody left to fill the spot, right? And so that can create some tense situations. Thanks for sharing that, EJ. There's the other piece of the drama. I'm going to kind of give you some highlights here. I've got some highlights here of what those topics are for this conference that I would love for you to come to. It's free, completely free. There is an opportunity for you to buy a VIP pass, which gives you some bonus content, but you don't need to do that. You can come and get all the content for free. Okay, workplace bullying. Some of you know that I have been bullied in the workplace, and part of my healing journey took me down this pathway of, first of all, discovering what was missing, how to fill that gap. 2, recognizing that the medical model and the organizational model, there's another answer, and that's the interpersonal model. 3, I ended up becoming a communication teacher, and I'll be honest with you, I felt like a fraud my first semester because I'm like, I couldn't even get that stuff right before, and I was struggling. How can I teach these new nurses how to have hard conversations when I couldn't? And I considered myself to be quite a capable, assertive communicator. And confident was not an issue with me, but there were issues in my styles and in the way in which I addressed it and in the heat that I brought to every conversation that I wasn't willing to look at back then. And so we do have some conversations and speakers. Hey, Idara, I hope I said that right, Idara. We do have some conversations from speakers who have also been through workplace bullying. Actually, probably more speakers than I thought had a similar experience, and how they have used that to fuel what they do now and serve the world. So we have people who are focused in workplace bullying and how to help you identify it, how to help you prevent it, what to do if you're in it, lots of resources that they provide. We also have people who have programs for people who are moving on and trying to recover and to heal. They're part of our summit as well. Other kinds of drama that show up in the workplace. I mean, I know I don't have to tell you this, but I want to just touch base with some of the speakers that are presenting. If you've ever felt unfairly judged, if you've ever felt overlooked, perhaps excluded, people talk about you, gossiping, all those nonverbal ways in which people indicate that you are an other in their group. So those of you watching from the nursing world, if you have heard the name Kathleen Bartholomew, she's one of our speakers. Excuse me. She's one of our speakers coming to talk about nonverbal behaviors, and she shares her journey as a new manager on a unit and what she was observing among the staff and how that was affecting nurses' practice. So she has a really great story to share and some tips for you to deal with those moments between nurses. Bonnie Artman Fox is another amazing nurse who's coming to speak, and she's actually going to talk to us about how our family upbringing, how they're maybe present in our conflict. And so she's another fascinating person to talk with, and I can't wait to share her story with you and her book. I'm going to run down a few more people now. Okay, this is probably what some of you want to know about. How do you deal with assholes, a-holes in the workplace? How do you shut down rude people? How do you shut down aggressive people? Dan O'Connor is a YouTube international sensation, and he is actually part of our summit. He's going to be teaching us strategies that we can use that are very effective in turning the climate of a relationship around and sometimes just stopping it. So you'll want to come and catch that. Amy Castro talks to us about assertive communication and how to become more assertive in your style. If that's something you're looking to boost and bolster, perhaps you think that you're maybe a little bit timid and shy and you're not sure what to do. So Amy Castro is going to come and teach us how to be more assertive in our communication, some very simple things you can do. What do I have here? What to say? Oh, what to say? Oh, I'm going to be teaching you what to say. Love it. I'm like, well, who's talking about that? That's me. I'm going to be teaching you some safe conversational strategies as well as my own model of communication. And so you may have heard me talk about this before around, I personally don't like the label avoider and accommodator. And if you identify yourself as an avoider and accommodator when it comes to conflict, let me know if this resonates with you. It has been my experience in working with people who have had that label put upon them, or maybe they self-select that label as a way to identify their feelings about conflict, is that it almost becomes a destination. And what I mean by that is, and I talk more about this in the interview, but what I mean about that is in terms of finding a resolution, it's almost like you're cast aside as if you don't want a resolution, that you would actually just prefer to avoid it and pretend it doesn't exist. But there's actually great cost to yourself when that becomes your destination, as opposed to, I call you my pausers in my model, people who need time to think about it and to come up with their strategy and move forward. So I'm going to help you identify the 4 different styles and what to say as well. Now, confidently handling these conversations does require knowing what to say when, and I actually give a free download in this so that you can grab that and start to change the way conversations are happening in your workplace. It's sometimes easier to not say something, but what ends up happening is you become part of the problem because you didn't take that moment to stop maybe someone gossiping, or to say to somebody, hey, that doesn't sound right. Can we look at this? Those kind of things, those moments that are so pivotal in terms of dissolving conflict. How can you do that safely and in a way that doesn't cause defense arousing responses? So we're going to talk about that. Okay, we also have Gail Miller, a TEDx talker, TEDx speaker, and she's going to be teaching us about unconscious bias. Such a huge topic right now in today's workplace. Aside from COVID, we've got the Me Too movement, the Black Lives Matter movement, the women's equality movement, LGBTQ, I don't know how many letters to put there now. All of these ways in which people are looking to be validated, in which they want to be included, and what are our unconscious biases around that. So she's going to walk us through an exercise there as well, which is so powerful. Now, this leads to personal branding. How do you want to be seen? So Sally Williamson is an executive coach, and she's going to kick off the whole summit by talking to us about what's personal brand, what's your personal presence, and how do you close the gap? How do people experience you, and how can you make sure that it's landing the way you want it to land? Now, that's a huge thing when it comes to dissolving conflict. And sometimes when we're in conflict, we don't even know that it's us that's brought the package, brought the energy into a conversation. So we want to make sure we're being received properly. Alrighty, where are we going now? Creating better relationships. I think I've missed a few. I've probably missed a ton. At any rate, you can check out these speakers because there's a ton there. What's your intention? What's the impact? Who are you as a person, and how do you want to be received? Very valuable conversations. How do you move on if you found yourself in a situation that you don't want to stay in anymore? Because sometimes that's important. Whether that's moving through and healing through bullying, or actually creating your freedom lifestyle. Rachel Smets comes and talks to us about the freedom lifestyle. She's a clarity coach, another YouTuber, and she's going to be there to give you a pathway and some ideas to consider. When's the right time? How do I manifest? How do I present my plan? How do I move forward in my plan to move out of this toxic workplace? Because sometimes that is the right choice. And if you work in one of those places and you have tried to change the culture, you have tried to have conversations, sometimes it's about the message, and sometimes it's about the method, and other times it's about the means. You got to get out of there. Woo, my friends, let me tell you what, if you have any questions related to conflict in the workplace, you drop it below for me. I'm going to pop open my Facebook to see if there's anything there. I should have done that first. Here's what I can tell you. It's going to be an amazing 14 days. It starts Monday, April 12th. You can register for free, dissolveworkplaceconflict.com. There are 26 speakers that are going to be sharing with you their best strategies so that you can step in those moments. And they're not difficult. They're not things you need to have in a book that you carry with you everywhere. These are just some simple strategies that you can actually go, hey, that's going to work. I'm going to write that down, and that's what I'm going to practice today with my relationship, because this is the one I think is going to actually dissolve the conflict. It's going to decrease the intensity. It's going to give us a safe place to explore the situation that we find ourselves in. Because I will share with you, I've already been down this road. It's not nice. I spent 4 years entangled with my supervisor, fighting to be right, fighting to be seen, fighting to be valued. And while all of those things were important and they weren't happening, it could have been done differently. But I didn't know it then. And so when I finally gave in, I then started my healing journey. And that was many, many, many years. And even still today, I get triggered sometimes, and I find myself having to go back and use some strategies for healing. And there's some great stuff offered in this summit as well. We've got Ritu talking about, Ritu Riyat talking about stress detox. We've got Sean Hubert talking about mindset. What else we got going on here? Stress detox. That's one that kind of came to mind because it's super important. Adara, you're not yet licensed and you have not started working as a nurse in the U.S. Does that mean you came into the U.S. Having your nursing education from another area, or are you just in your nursing schooling and you haven't written your exam? I'm not sure exactly where you're at with that. Either way, I suppose it doesn't matter, but you're definitely needed. You are needed. Your skills are needed. As a nurse, we need you on board, and I want you to come on board in a safe workplace and give you the tips and the tools so that you can do that. Because it's possible you're going to walk into a place where there's some challenges right off the hop as a result of all of the chaos that people are under right now, all of the stress and the strain that people are under right now. And it will be easy for you to witness this and feel horrified by it. And that sounds really strong. And not feel like what they're doing is right. And I want to give you some tools so that you can actually step in and go, okay, this is making me curious. I need to ask some questions so I can understand what's going on here before you start to take it personally. Rob Pennington's presentation will be a fantastic one for you. So back to my journey of healing, and ended up teaching communication skills, studied lateral violence throughout my schooling and my master's of nursing. So I really kind of understood it from all the perspectives. One, the theoretical perspective, the personal experience, and then the resolution. Like, how do we actually fix interpersonal problems? Interpersonal solutions. And there's often 3 common mistakes that I see people make. One is they stay in that emotional override and that they allow their emotions to control how they react. So Marie Gervais' talk about exploring emotional triggers, Robin Hill's talk about exploring empathy, both focus on emotions. I'm trying to think if there's someone else who focuses on emotions. Oh, we have Kyle Benson coming too. Yes, Kyle Benson is a Gottman Institute researcher. And if you know the Gottman Institute, they are focused on creating better relationships. And they focus on the interpersonal, like your marriage relationship, but they've now branched into workplace relationship. And so he comes and talks about how to have a stress-reducing conversation with your spouse. Because now, guess what? We're working at home with our spouses, and that becomes our new colleague. And so he's really got such a valuable presentation. Oh, I forgot he was coming. I didn't forget. He just wasn't in my mindset for where I was in my talk. I was looking for emotional speakers. Linda Crockett talks about psychological hazards and psychological harassment in the workplace. So those are definitely emotional triggers. Okay, there's so much. There's so much to share. I just want you to come and join us there because it starts Monday. And while I have been putting this everywhere on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, not so much. I'm not so good at Instagram. I do want to make sure that people get this resource. So feel free to share it and let them know that there are resources out there that they can access, that they can learn from people who've already been there, who've already like kind of figured out the way forward so that they don't have to spend years trying to do that themselves. Because I can tell you, I got the t-shirt and it's not worth it. It is not worth spending all those years struggling just to get the t-shirt. So that's kind of what I wanted to share. I'm just going to check. Thanks for watching, guys. I don't see any more comments there. And I'm checking Facebook quickly. I feel like I may be a wee bit rambled. Oh, Eli. Hey, my friend. Great advice. This event sounds like it will be worth attending. Yes, it will be. Not because I've spent 2 months putting it together, but because of the quality of the speakers and the content that they are sharing. Like, I've probably listened to them several times because, you know, as you're putting together an event, there's lots of things and moving pieces. And every time I listen to them, there's something else. I'm like, oh, I got to grab that piece. And I've got notes upon notes upon notes from these speakers that I will use and integrate and that I will build into my teaching as well. So it's amazing. Anyways, that's it for me now, guys. I'm going to sign off because I feel like I'm going to start rambling here. Thanks for watching, and I can't wait to see you at the summit. Again, free. And how this works, I'll just maybe break this down quick and then I'll sign off. So how it works is the free registration. You will get access every morning. I'll send you an email. 6 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, it will show up in your inbox. You will have 24 hours to connect with those speakers that are released that day. There's 2 speakers a day. And then there's, I think, 2 days where there's only 1 speaker just because of the content and the timing. You get 24 hours to watch them. You can access all of their free resources. They're giving away courses. I've got a 30-day course from Joyce Adidison, Interpersonal Wellness. She's giving a 30-day course for free. Robin Hills is giving his Emotional Intelligence course, I think it's called. I feel like that's a 6-day course as well. There's an opportunity to enter in for a free 6-day mediation training. It's a £3,000 value that you can enter to be selected to take that course and training with Richard Peachy, who is in the UK. And so many more other downloads and resources. So anyways, you're going to get access to each speaker for free. You'll access all of their resources for free. You get the Facebook, come into the Facebook group where we're doing live bonus conversation every night, 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time inside our Facebook group, Dissolve Workplace Conflict. And on many of those days, the speakers of that day will be able to join me, and you'll have some time to Q&A with them as well and get some bonus content. That's the free registration. Now, there is an opportunity you're going to see when you sign up. There will be an opportunity to level up to the VIP access, which will give you these recordings unlimited. Lifetime. You're going to have your own portal where you can access them anytime. You will still get all of their free resources. You still get to come into the Facebook group. So that's the same for both. The bonuses in the VIP section are you will get unlimited access, lifetime access. You also get the audio download, so you can put this on your phone and listen on the go, which is, I love that because I'm a podcast fan. There is a workbook that goes along with this, and there's a bonus session. Trina Sarecchia, one of my friends, she gave us a 90-minute in-service inside our Facebook group. I often bring people in for free to do teaching in there. And she gave us 90-minute conversation about 6 energetic levels of dealing with conflict, and it was amazing. Honestly, my notes were, again, multiple pages. She gave us so much gold. She offered to gift that to people who sign up for the VIP section. So that's a free resource as well in there. So that's kind of how it works. Adara, yes, a nurse in Nigeria. Okay, so you're actually having to go back through that process of either some education in the States where you live and upgrading to meet the American standards and probably writing their test. Yeah, I have met many a nurse like you. The college I used to work at here specialized in helping nurses transition. So good for you. I'll tell you what, I'm always impressed when a nurse from another country comes here and they are so committed to their profession that they go back to school to do it all over again. It is such a humbling place to be a teacher on their journey. Yes, your NCLEX. Good job. Well, when you get it, you message me and you let me know because I know you're going to get it. Okay. One last check on Facebook. I didn't check my page. I don't know. Let me check quickly. Last chance for comments and questions, folks, because I am going to be signing off and it's almost lunchtime for me here. So that's where I'm heading. And I'm going to get back to this amazing long checklist of things I need to do to get the summit ready for you on Monday. So our motto is ditch the drama, confidently handle difficult conversations, and create better relationships. And I'll tell you what, I wasn't that long ago that I lacked all those skills and tools, and I want to make sure you don't have to go through what I did. And that's really why I have put this together. So thanks for watching and have a great day.